I think Hurricane Belle maybe needs to set a little timer, shorter hurricanes. But I love that part of me.
Hello and welcome to Love Island the morning after. It's your girl Indiyah and we are all the way here in South Africa. Now, we are almost at the final, but we are not quite there. And what better way to kick off the show? We've not got one dumped islander, but we've got two. It is the wonderful Tommy and Jessy, everyone.
Hey.
Hi guys, how are you? Good morning.
Morning, yeah.
How are you all feeling?
Yeah, feel good.
Happy to be here. Honestly, so nice to see you guys in the flesh. I've been watching you guys on telly for like weeks now. So I'm glad that we can have a nice chat and catch up.
Debrief. Yeah, it feels like I've been in there a year, so...
Yeah, you know what they say, a day in there.
Oh, God,
feels like a month. Yeah.
Honestly, it really does. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like this time round I felt so much more homesick, miss my friends a lot more, my family. I don't know why. So I was in here less time than the first time.
Okay, well that tees me up into my question. I mean, why did you both decide to go on All Stars?
I feel like I hadn't much luck in the old dating world. So when I got given the opportunity, I thought, do you know what? Although I was on the summer series, it wasn't long ago, it was the best summer of my life. Met some great people, memories that last forever. Never ever been away in winter before.
Yeah.
So all my mates doing dry Jan, fuck that, get down the villa. So it was nice to do something different.
Yeah,
and,
that is nice. And do you know what? We always say, like, it's not just about the romance, you build friendships. And
exactly.
It's a once in a lifetime experience, you know? Yeah,
definitely.
That's good. Jessy, look, there's been a lot of comments about, you know, you and Tommy's relationship. I wanted to ask, how hard is it going in as a bombshell and trying to, you know, develop a connection that late going in?
I think it's such a hard position. It's hard going in as a bombshell anyway, but when you get put in that late, knowing that the series is ending soon and everyone's got really strong connections. Like, I'm very much a girl's girl, so going in and having to break up a couple is horrible, but going in and going for someone that you actually like that is single, you get obviously everyone making comments, but it's definitely difficult and you never know what the situation is going to be by the time you get in there because everything changes so quickly. So
yeah,
I enjoy going in this time a lot more than my first time because when I went in the last time, there's a lot more animosity when I first got in, whereas this time everyone understands that you're a bombshell, so it was a lot more of a welcoming environment, which was really nice.
Tommy, we obviously saw your journey in there and we saw sometimes, you know, it was a bit tough for you got a bit emotional and, you know, just sometimes not having a connection. How hard is it, would you say, you know, not having a connection in the villa and you can see everyone cracking on and, you know, sometimes it's just not what you expect?
Yeah, I was emotional.
Yeah, but it's good, we love that.
I knew coming to All Stars, I'll probably be the youngest in there. So I knew what I was signing up for. But when you're in it, and like you said, everyone's couple will start to develop and progress, and then you're always sort of just waiting for that door to open. You do just take each day as it comes, otherwise you go mad. I remember a time I was in the kitchen and everyone's in their couples in the kitchen chatting, having their little chats and stuff. And I think Jack come up to me and he just said, "You okay?" And I was on my own and that's all it took and I was set off. And I think he said, "You sure you're okay?" And then I was gone and we ended up going up to the terrace and having that chat where I ended up breaking down. So it is very hard. Like, I did struggle and I feel like whenever I felt down in there, I thought of home and it made me, it was a bit of a trigger effect. I feel down, I miss home, miss my family and friends, what would they say to me? Yeah. So I don't know, I feel like a connection in there is important, but also arguably maybe having really close friends in there is just as important. Yeah.
I think that's important, especially for, like, you know, people watching, because obviously people look at Love Island and it's like, oh, it's all about love, but we always do speak about the friendships. And you're a really nice guy in there, honestly. Like, we honestly were like, you know what, go Tommy. So we were all really rooting for you to find love and build that connection and just, you know, see a lovey side to you that we didn't always get to see. But it was great.
That's nice to hear,
Now, Jessy, look, we know that you and Lucinda aren't the best of friends, and we saw the conversation a bit with Maya, but what we wanted to ask was, why did you feel kind of it was necessary to pull Lucinda up on things that, you know, had happened before you'd got into the villa?
I didn't mean to pull her up on anything, to be honest. I wasn't trying to go into that conversation doing that. And even when I was pulling her up on what I was pulling her up on in the end, it was about her comments that I was there for. It wasn't for the behaviour or anything before. It was mainly that when I was saying, like, you're winding people up, you know what you're doing, that was based on that one comment in her speech where I think she said something about Belle's and Leanne's situation. And I don't know if it was shown, I've not seen it, but she kind of looked over at Belle and was like, and it's like those little things that like wound a lot of people up in there because it was the things that we're not sure if it was shown because obviously not everything gets put in, but it was kind of like a lot of nibbling bits that kept coming up. So then when I had my conversation with her and she brought up that comment that she'd made, I said that was irrelevant to her speech because her speech was so nice for Sean, and it was just that one little part in the middle that just didn't need to be in there. So I didn't feel the need to pull her up on anything. I knew it wasn't my place, but because she kind of started that conversation and I disagreed, and I told some of the girls in conversations with them that we all agreed that it wasn't needed. Whatever I'd said to other people, I always say to their face.
Yeah.
And so I have said to the girls here that when they were talking about it, that I agree that it wasn't relevant and you didn't need to say it. And that's when the conversation spiraled into something that it wasn't meant to be. I genuinely didn't mean to go into that conversation to have that conversation. I'm not saying it was my place to have it, but at the same time, if I have a differing opinion, I wouldn't just sit there and bullshit her.
Looking back now, do you regret getting involved or do you stand by?
No, I don't regret it because at the time, it felt right to say it because I'm not someone that's going to sit back and agree with someone just because I'm friends with them. I don't like how it spiraled and it ended up being the way it was.
Fair enough, yeah. I think that's fair enough to say.
From fire pit fallouts to fairy tales of love, another unforgettable series in the villa is coming to an end, which means it's time for one final debrief. The girlies delivered nothing but iconic energy. We saw standout pieces that have graced our screens before, the breathless red latex moment, Millie's unforgettable rat and boa dress, and the sensational Mercy dress that had the whole villa talking. Our gorgeous girlies absolutely understood the assignment. And let's talk about the boys, because they were on fire this season. Y2K was heavily revived, with Kieran and Tommy both rocking the vintage Oakland Athletics bomber jacket. Proof that Love Island and pre-loved aviator jackets go together real good. From first impressions to final moments, what a series this was. Pre-loved has told its own love story this winter. Find your perfect fit on eBay, proud sponsors of Love Island All-Stars.
We saw, obviously, you guys spoke to your family members. Jessy, you spoke to your dad, and we did see you get quite emotional. Do you feel like you consciously changed your behaviour after speaking to your dad?
No. I'd already started to try to include Lucinda a lot more because I could feel that she felt uncomfortable from her own doing. I'm not saying that was because of the girls, and I think there's been a lot of talk about mean girls, which is not the case in the slightest. But I think that I just tried to talk to her here and there, and everyone was just so far moving on from it anyway. All the girls were over the drama because it had been going on for so long. So we'd all just kind of decided to just move on from it. But then when I had the conversation with my dad, I think that maybe it's been perceived that he was trying to tell me off, and that he was like disappointed in me, which was not the case. Like,
I don't think he was disappointed.
Yeah, he would never be. If anything, he would say to me, "Good on you for standing up and saying your opinion." I think he was just trying to give me a warning that it had looked like I was doing something, and it wasn't my place to be doing so. He wasn't never telling me off, and it's a shame that it kind of got perceived in that way. Obviously, it's not about public opinion and what people think about me, but I don't like that. Not being myself and not showing who I am. Because I'm not a mean girl, I'm not a nasty person that's trying to get involved in too much. So when he said that, it just hit home that...
Yeah, I guess it's coming from dad, it always feels a bit different when it's from family, isn't it?
And his opinion is, like, most important opinion ever, so...
What does the future look like for the both of you guys now?
I think it's still early days, isn't it? So I don't want to put any pressure on it. Yeah,
there's a lot of pressure, I think, coming out of Love Island and feeling like you have to put on a show for people, which is not what we're doing. We're just taking it every day as it comes. And
I think now there's no outside pressure.
Yeah.
I guess it will be easy for you guys, to spend more time together and do whatever you feel.
Yeah, do whatever feels natural, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, predictions, because we are nearly there. Who do you guys want to win?
I think it's so hard because they're all great couples. First one that always comes to my mind, though, is Zach and Millie.
Okay.
I'd love to see them win. Whitney and Yeaman as well, Sammy, Kieran. I don't know, it's so hard. They're all so good.
Yeah, I think they're my top three at the minute. I think, not in any order, I've seen how much they bounce off each other and how strong they've been.
It's so hard to pick
so
one.
Not
That is a
bestie
cruel
Sean.
question. Oh, no, that was a journey, me and Sean in itself. But no, I don't know, I think it's a hard one, really, because I do feel like they are smitten with each other. It's just a weird one for me.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about Sean now? We've obviously seen you guys' great friendship journey and, sometimes he's not really been the best towards you, but how do you think you guys are now? We did see him give you an apology as well.
Yeah, and we ended on a good note. I mean, he pulled me for a chat on a terrace and just said, like, having a call with his sister, basically gave him a bit of a kick up the arse and opened his eyes a little bit, and basically said maybe he hasn't been a good friend, and he said on the outside he's not like that, it's just in here his head's been a bit all over the place. And he did apologise multiple times, and there's not much more he can really do, so I appreciate his apology. We shook hands, hugged it out. Yeah, I do wish him all the best, so there's no hard feelings or anything. Naturally, it is like still on my mind. Like not in like I've got bad blood with him, but just naturally, you know, like if you've had something with someone and you know you're friendly, you get on really well, but maybe there's just a little like there's a little feeling
were friends,
there. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird feeling to explain, but no, I do honestly wish him all the best. But I don't know. I just think. I don't know, I love to see Zach and Millie win. I don't know what it is.
They are lovely and they are loved up.
Yeah.
So Zach and Millie for you, and I'd say you're lean towards...
Sammy and Kieran.
Sammy and Kieran's a good shout,
I think I don't think they get shown as much as other couples because I think they're just so in their own world, aren't they?
Hey, no drama, no airtime, you know how it goes. Well, guys, it's been absolutely lovely speaking to you. Wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on the pod this morning.
Thanks, Indiyah, I appreciate
Lovely
it.
to be here.
And I'll see you guys at the final.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be
look
great.
forward to that.
Next up, we've got last night's Dumped Islanders. It's the wonderful Harrison and Belle, everyone. Hello. Yeah, we'll just clap for ourselves.
A little round of applause.
Good morning. How are you guys? How are you feeling?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, feeling really good.
good.
That's pretty good.
Nice to be at the villa.
Yeah.
I feel like obviously my experience was short and sweet, but so you were there for a while, so I feel like you was ready to get out of there.
I was ready to go.
ready to
I was like, get me home.
I mean, how is it, guys, leaving so close to the final?
Do you know what it is? It wasn't really about the final for me. I think it was just obviously the way we were dumped. It wasn't the best afternoon we've ever had as a couple.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was never really a goal or anything to get to the final, nothing like that. It was just more the way we were dumped, which was a little bit sore, you know?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think for me, it was never about the final. It was like I started the journey. So as long as I went the first time, I didn't care. I was like, just don't let me be first. I think it was more upsetting that it was about stuff outside of the villa rather than about me and you.
Yeah.
So that it was about least compatible and it was more about your situation.
Yeah. I mean, we did see, Belle, the back and forth with Carrington, and you did feel that, you know, a lot of people's, you know, comments were a bit of a cop-out. What do you mean by that?
I think for me, the comments, a lot of the like people that sent us home were about your situation. But the ones that were about me and you, it was more, we haven't had the time to see your relationship develop as much as the others, which we kind of expected that. We are the newest couple. It's just a shame really that, you know, we didn't have more time to sort of develop that deeper, meaningful, you know. We keep thinking, well, we did, but I don't think you really see much of it because it was in bed chats and things.
But I also think naturally, obviously, I was there for like 2 weeks. We coupled up, I think like for 10 days or something like that. And I feel like you're not having deep, meaningful conversations like straight away from the get-go, do you know what I mean? I feel like we're very much a joking, laughy like sort of people, do you know what I mean? I feel like we get on, so it's like we don't really talk about deeper stuff right at the start of getting to know each other, do you know what I mean? Which I think is so normal.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I feel like it just obviously came at an unfortunate time for both of us, I'd say.
Yeah. Now, Harrison, we'll get into it, okay?
Yeah.
We saw the conversation with Maya and, you know, we saw the comments that were made to do with your situation with Lauren. And you did say, you know, you won't speak about it until you watch a few things back. Obviously now, we're out in the open, you guys are outside. Is there anything you want to say about the situation?
So I've actually not seen the podcast yet.
Okay.
I've not seen it, so I can't comment too much. But obviously I picked up what a few of the Islanders said yesterday, so I can only really go off that.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously just to clarify, we broke up at the end of October. I've not seen her since. There's been a few occasions where we've reached out to each other just because I feel like we both went through an experience together. We both obviously had a bit of backlash after the show. And I feel like we were both like sort of there for each other. But I think a lot of the Islanders were saying, well, Jess in particular was saying about that we were talking regularly like every day, and that's outrageous. That's not the case.
It's not the case.
So yeah, obviously just wanted to set that straight. But obviously I can't really say too much.
Yeah,
obviously not seen the
exactly.
podcast yet, so I'm sure once I get my phone back, I'll be having a little watch.
You'll be telling us all the gossip.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
you know what? You've cleared it up here first, so that's all good anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. The slippers have become a meme.
Oh my God,
Do you
I
have
didn't need that,
any
did I?
intentions of going to get them?
Nah, I think I'll probably leave the slippers
Yeah.
there, to be
I
honest.
get
feel
you a
like...
new pair.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can...
good.
I get you a new
Yeah.
pair.
Yeah, Belle can sort me out a new pair. I don't need them anymore. That's funny. But
Fair enough,
yeah,
yeah.
they'll be staying there for sure.
Right, well, no slippers, guys, no slippers. Miss Hurricane Belle,
Yeah.
famously known. We did see, you know, you got yourself in a lot of drama. Now, how do you think you even ended up in that position? Why do you feel like you got, you know, so involved in everybody's big old hurricanes?
I think for me, I'm someone that keeps it real, and I will call out the lies. And I think a lot of people in there were saying the same things as me, and no one wanted to air their opinion. And I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I think when I see fake stuff, I will always call it out.
Yeah, fair enough. Does any part of you now regret doing that?
No,
Fair enough.
no.
Yeah.
Not at all.
That's just you, isn't it?
It's
you
just
are.
me. Like, I'm never going to change that. I think Hurricane Belle maybe needs to set a little timer, shorter hurricanes. But I love that part of me, you know, like, she's always been there. And, it's, you know, I can try and keep her down, but then I'm not me. And I love me. So why would I not be me?
Yeah.
So I don't regret it, no.
100%. I think that's really good. I think it's a good way, you know, to go about things and always be yourself. We always say it when you go in Love Island Villa, you've just got to be yourself. We also saw, you know, your situation with Scott obviously had nothing to do with Leanne. But how did it go from, you know, you wanting to get to know Scott and then, in your words, that he's a little bit fake?
Do you know what it was for me? There was a lot of things that Scott had said when he knew he wasn't being filmed. And he would say those things to me and then pretend like they didn't exist. And I didn't like that. And that night, me and Scott had quite a deep conversation on the terrace. And as soon as it kicked off with the girls, I could see it in him. He 1 minute was sort of, it was like I could see him processing, how I'm going to look, how's this, how's that. And he straight away got in bed with Leanne, and I was like, this is so confusing, like how you've just jumped like that from one thing to another thing. Like, it didn't make sense for me. And I think as time went on, I obviously heard the comments that he'd said to you. He was constantly asking about public perception. He was constantly asking, oh, well, we're halfway through the series now. Should I, you know, go a bit mad and then go back to Leanne because that makes for good TV and that's the kind of narrative, the way things work. And they were just, I started seeing him calculating things and I was like, oh, I never really see that before. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you didn't realise that until you started having those conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Harrison, how did that make you feel? Obviously seeing Scott and Belle, you know, getting into it quite a few times.
Yeah. For me, it was sort of their issue to solve between them. I wasn't here for a lot of their journey together, but I feel like obviously I was just there for Belle, you know?
Yeah,
obviously wanted her to say what she had to say.
Yeah.
And I was just there to back her up, I feel like. But I feel like I also saw sides of Scott that I didn't think were genuine as well, just by a few comments he'd said and asked me, obviously I was the latest bombshell to go in. So he's sort of just gauging what the outside noise was saying, asking me a few questions that I thought were a little bit odd. But I feel
What
like...
questions do you think he asked are quite odd?
So he asked me at one point, like, who's the favourite girl on the outside? And then asking, did the public ship me and Leanne? So, obviously, I think a few of the games, it looked like Belle was coming for him. I can't remember what the game was where it was the...
When Cher and Jack went home.
Yeah, where Cher and Jack went home.
Okay, yeah.
And I actually put Scott and Leanne up for, like, biggest game players or something, and obviously it was aimed at Scott. So I feel like I have my own opinion on Scott. I think that was very separate to what Belle's opinion on Scott was. I formed my own opinion, not based off what Belle was saying, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I could just gauge what
I think
sort of
as
person
well,
he
like
was.
the way he tried to make it out like it was, he sort of tried to pit me and Leanne against each other, and I didn't like that because in every conversation I'd had, it was never about Leanne. You know, me and Leanne had spoke between ourselves, and even the comment I made about him being in my DMs, I was like, that's not about Leanne, that's about you being a shit person. Not about anything to do with her. She's great. Like, she's not the issue. He's the problem. So that was always aimed at him, and he knew that. So at the dinner, when he then said that, oh, you made a dig at Leanne, I'm like, now you're trying to make it look like it's something it's not. And I can see what he is.
I think it's fair enough. I think it's always an opinion-based situation as well. And hey, we will find out anyways. You know?
Yeah.
Harrison, we did see you had a really nice conversation with your family over the Zoom call. And, you know, you did mention that, you know, I guess the summer season, you were a bit kind of concerned about how you were perceived and stuff like that. Do you feel like this time round All Stars has been quite a redemption for you?
I don't think I was necessarily thinking that to begin with. I feel like my journey just naturally took me to that place.
Yeah.
I feel like, obviously, last time I was involved in a lot of drama.
Young Bull.
The whole Young Bull thing. And I feel like the drama defined me as a person in the villa.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like this time I was able to show my true self, and it was more like the real Harrison, which my family see on the outside.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was nice to be like that and not be involved in so much drama, whereas obviously last time I was very much centre of the drama, didn't know what I was doing, obviously handled situations poorly. But I feel like, this time I just got to see a more softer side to myself, and obviously just the way I am on the outside, so I feel like it was a little bit refreshing this time to come in the villa and do it different this time.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear. It's always nice for everyone to just come around and just do things differently, I guess. You know what I mean? Well, we're going to have a little bit of prediction because you know that the final is tomorrow. Who do you guys want to win?
I've said Kieran and Sammy.
Okay.
Just because I feel like they're always together. I feel like they're both very down to earth, genuine people. And I think it'd be good for them to win for sure. Nice. I do see a genuine connection there between them two.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'd probably either say the same or Whit and Yeaman.
Fair enough.
I think he's brought out such a beautiful side of Whit.
He
And
has.
it's been such an honour to see that, to see her and her feminine energy. And it's just, So I'd either say Sammy and Kieran or Whit and Yeaman.
And obviously, who do you guys think should have maybe gone last night then?
I would say Scott and Leanne. Not for Leanne, I've just purely based on Scott. I think he's a game player. So
I just think everyone in there is so genuine, and I think when I came in, everyone was sort of cracking on with their couples. No one was really bothered about the outside noise. So like obviously Sean and Lucinda, obviously they went through a little bit of a tough time in there. I feel like he ride or died with Lucinda, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like if Scott was in that position, that he was getting battered, and obviously from the outside as well, I feel like he probably would have switched from that couple, do you know what I mean? So he was just the one that very much cared about public perception. So I'd probably obviously say the same.
What are the future plans for you guys going forward now then?
I think for us, we were still early days. We've had a really nice few, obviously coming out of the villa, nice bit of time together. We're not interested in proving a point. We're going at our own pace, taking things as it is. I mean, look at his little face. He's so handsome. So, I'm happy. We do have a genuine connection, and we're just seeing where it goes.
Yeah, you guys look great. Honestly, shout out to the double denim. It looks great.
Didn't it? It was such a good idea.
It's cute.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Well, guys, that's all we have time for today. It's been absolutely amazing speaking to you. Thank you for coming on the morning after.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, wishing you the best of all your journey in the future. That is it for this morning. We'll be finding out tonight who has won Love Island All Stars, and you can join me at 8 p.m. on Instagram and TikTok as I'll be going live and I'll be getting all the gossip from all of the Islanders. And don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow morning for the podcast. See you then.